If you've ever dreamed of doing a working holiday visa in Canada, you're in luck. I'm Safia, your host, and today I'm going to answer all your burning questions about doing a working holiday visa in Canada. Stay tuned until the end to discover the truth about the quotas and to learn how to increase your chances of getting a working holiday visa in Canada. Before we get started, I'd like to give a huge thank you to our official sponsor, International Experience Canada, a program from the Government of Canada for making the Nomad Talks possible. Today's live episode, we have a fantastic guest all the way from Bristol, UK, Drew, who's currently on a working holiday visa adventure in Whistler, BC, here in Canada. Hi, Drew. Thanks for joining us.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
So, was Canada always on your list of countries to live and work? Is this your first working holiday visa?
It's not. No, I have done it in Australia as well. And Canada never really was up there for me. I just thought it was maybe a lengthier process than what I had imagined.
Okay.
But yeah, after Australia, I kind of wanted the dichotomy of like going to like live in the mountains. You know, like the beach was great, but I just kind of wanted to mix it up.
You weren't ready to go back home.
I wasn't ready to go back. Still not.
For those of you that are unfamiliar with the working holiday visa, here's what you need to know. So basically, the first thing you should do is head out on the International Experience Canada website, where you will see if your country is part of the program, or where over 30 eligible countries, including Australia, New Zealand, the UK, can come to Canada if you're between the ages of 18 to 35 or 30 for some countries to do a working holiday visa, which is what you did, Drew. So going on a working holiday visa in Canada is quite an exciting adventure. Can you tell us a little bit more about your journey?
After Australia, I've moved home for a short while, and yeah, just decided to, come here. And I've been here for 3 years now. So I got my first working holiday visa. And then I have applied for like an extension type things.
Yeah.
And yeah, currently going through the PR process. So hopefully if I make the deadline and get myself organized, that will be the next step. It's a beautiful country. And yeah, I'm just not quite ready to go home yet.
Yeah, I can understand that. So can you maybe tell us why so many people like you have picked, because you're settled in Whistler at the moment, so why so many people and travelers like you pick Whistler as a destination for their working holiday visa?
So it's beautiful.
Duh.
I think personally didn't go there for the snow, but the majority of people will go there for like the winter season. It's like the biggest snow thing in North America. So that's the main reason why people go. However, there's like a common term in which like you come for the winter and stay for the summer, because like once the snow melts, it's so much nicer. There's just more to do, like, the lakes, the hiking, it's just like so beautiful that I think that's why people get so stuck there. They're like, oh, the next season, and it just keeps going.
And then it's 2 years, and then 3 years, and then you want to become a resident.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
So how long is a Canadian IEC visa or work visa typically valid for?
For the UK, it's 2 years. I think it varies on country.
So your own visa was for 2 years when you applied?
My first one was, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I think like you said, it's 1 or 2 years depending on the country. So if you want to be sure, just check the International Experience Canada website and you can select your country, and then you'll see over there the length of time for the visa. So before embarking on your Canadian adventure, where did you gather all of the necessary information? Did you use any specific social media group or online resources?
Yeah, like a lot of the information was, of course, on Facebook.
Yeah.
There's like loads of groups that are like dedicated to helping like people like get their visas and stuff.
Specific for the UK or just in general?
There's a general one, but there is also just a UK based one as well. Speak to people that are going through the same thing,
right?
And you can like actually hear it like firsthand. So I found that the most,
because there's an awesome video on the International Experience Canada website that really details the step-by-step process for you. But like you said, it could be also very valuable to have like firsthand information from,
Yeah.
you know, people. You can ask them directly, like, this
Yeah.
is going on for me. Did this happen for you? Blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah.
yeah.
But yeah, note that there is this awesome video that you can check on the website of International Experience Canada. And there you will see that there's a couple of different things. You had mentioned a little bit earlier that the process was kind of different from other working holiday visa application.
Yeah.
So first, I mean, you might remember this from when you did it. You need to create an IEC profile, and then you have to select the working holiday visa pool because there are different pools depending on where you're from. So you select the working holiday visa pool, and then you have to wait for an invitation to apply. Once you get that, you have 10 days to accept that invitation to apply, and then you have 20 days to complete a work permit application. You remember that process?
Yeah.
And after that, the rest is kind of standard. You might need a medical exam depending on where you're from or where you're coming from. So it could be a bit different because maybe your country doesn't require one, but you've been visiting a country that requires a medical exam. You pay the fees online, and you also need to submit your biometrics. So can you tell us a little bit more about the biometrics for you? Because it's not so easy. I mean, you have to factor that in when you do the process.
100%. Yeah, there's only like a select couple of locations. Well, when I applied anyway, there was that you were able to do it. And mine had to go to London, which is like over 2 hours away for me.
Wow.
And I actually missed my appointment, which just causes lots of problems down the line. Because if you miss that appointment, they'll just automatically cancel your visa, even though you haven't technically got it yet. And yeah, it will flag up as like visa denied. So now every time I come into Canada, it says that I have like, I don't know, I got that big black mark on my passport, you know. So yeah, it's you really need to like do research and just stick to your deadlines. Which
So note to self: if you're going through that process, do not miss your appointment for biometrics. But in the end, you made it. You came to Canada. You're here. That's awesome. Yeah. So once you go through that process and you're ready to come to Canada, you need to show proof of comprehensive health insurance. Yeah. You need to show the equivalent of $2,500 in your bank account. And obviously, you need to have a valid passport for the entire duration of your stay in Canada. So those are all little things that can add up. And like you said, you have to be very tight, very organized in the whole process to make sure that you don't miss those deadlines or that you don't miss an appointment, because it could really delay the whole process. Let's move on a little bit from the bureaucracy. Yeah. So from what you've heard or observed from other people doing a working holiday visa in Canada, what steps do you recommend taking in order to find employment?
Ooh, tough. Okay. Yeah. You need to have like a comprehensive like resume before you go. Okay. I would suggest. And I think that's all part of just like preparing for if you want to like move countries, you know, you have to have important documentation which will, you know, pave your way for you. So definitely get that like organized prior, and like just do a lot of like research into what kind of job you want to do and where to go. I know like often like kind of better to be somewhere and get to know your employer like personally as opposed to just email them from, you know, overseas. So I don't think there's like too much you can do beforehand, but I think it's very valuable just to get an idea and a little scope of like where you want to go.
And can you give us an idea maybe of like once you're here, what are some of the most common sources for finding employment? Yeah,
again, like Facebook is full of it as well, and even like I know at home in the UK, like big organizations wouldn't post things on Facebook for like job wise. It's not really a thing, but here there's a lot, like, you know, like all the big hotels like Fairmont and stuff will post when there is availability. Okay. Or like Craigslist as well. That's a pretty good one. And yeah, a lot of it also is just word of mouth. If you have friends here and you're lucky enough to like, you know, have a little base before you come, then that can go a long way too.
And I'm guessing some of the Facebook groups as well, maybe people are sharing information there.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Okay. And do you have maybe an example of the type of job someone can expect to have while on a working holiday visa in Canada?
I guess it kind of like depends on your like past jobs and qualifications, but a lot of people will go into the hospitality industry. Yeah. It's just a gateway job. and it's fun. That's what I work as. Yeah, so lots of people do that, and then a lot of people will do trades as well.
Okay.
So a lot of like my Australian friends, plumbers, or they do that because if you have that, then that can take you anywhere, kind of thing.
Right. So you need the proper trade certification, but then those are jobs, those are industries that are quite in demand here. And what do you do exactly?
I'm just a server in a restaurant.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great, but it allows you to, I guess, meet a lot of people as well.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I just like talking. I do really like my job, and like the wages are like pretty good and make more money than I would be doing that role at home. I don't think it's necessarily a forever job, but right now it's perfect for me.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. So what the average hourly salary that someone can expect when they come to do a working holiday visa in Canada?
So in BC, I just know that for British Columbia, I think the minimum wage is $16.75. I think it went up like last month ago. So that would be like for like a gateway job, like working in hospitality.
Okay.
But then of course there's a big tipping culture over here as well, so you need to kind of like factor that into it as well. And most of like the big tip jobs will be on minimum wage, but that's fine.
So for the people at home, you're home I mean, so how much is that in pounds about?
Maybe like £10, I would say. Yeah.
Including tips or?
Not including tips, yeah.
Plus tip. Okay.
Yeah.
So for those that are watching, you may wonder, can I have more than one job at a time during a working holiday visa in Canada? So the answer to that is yes, you have the option to work for more than one employer, because basically what you get is an open work permit. So this gives you the flexibility to explore different job opportunities and find what works best for you. And also, we get a lot of questions on Instagram about, can you work full-time versus part-time during a working holiday visa in Canada? So take note, you can choose to work full-time or part-time. And basically, if you have enough money to supplement your stay in Canada, you can also decide not to work. Why not? So what about you, Drew? Did you work more than one job at a time, or do you know people that do? And also, what does your work schedule looks like?
Yeah, so when I first came here, I did have two jobs. It was more because I never tried snowboarding before, and I didn't want to pay for a pass.
Yeah,
because that was really expensive. So I got a job like for the resort, which got me a free pass, and then I was like, okay, I actually fairly enjoy this, so I'll get one next year. But the schedule was like tough, and lots of people we said we'll have two jobs, and the employers are very accommodating about it.
Okay,
which is good. But yeah, it's a long slog to work that much.
Like how many hours a week would you?
I'd be doing like 60 hours a week.
Whoa.
Yeah.
When did you have time to snowboard?
Yeah, I know. But by the job, I start at like 5 a.m. until 3, and then start my other job 3 p.m. until like 11 p.m. So yeah, luckily I don't work that much anymore. No, I do, but not like that much.
Yeah.
So it's good in the like winter. Like I don't mind working, but come the summer, then my employers are really good, and I have 3-day weekends.
That's cool.
And because I like to be outside
enjoy
and
the
hiking.
sun.
Yeah, exactly. yeah. The majority of employees are very accommodating about work-wise, which is good.
Not everyone needs to work 60 hours.
Yeah, right.
But if you do, it's available to you. So exploring Canada is often one of the highlights of doing a working holiday visa. So did you take advantage of the opportunity to travel within the country?
I haven't done a lot, but I've certainly done like lots of like weekends away. I've been to Montreal before, like Toronto, like lots of the cities. I don't have a driving license, so it is quite difficult to get around Canada because it's so big.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So I would recommend if you can get, and if you don't have a license, then probably get one before you come here. I've done gone to lots of places, and just the roads are just so beautiful. Obviously, I don't drive, but my friends do. And yeah, we've done a couple of like road trips and stuff. And it's just beautiful. The scenery just changes like all the time, like constantly.
So we'd love to hear about some of your favorite spots.
My favorite spots,
like top 3.
Top 3. Oh my goodness, I really like Canmore.
Yeah,
I think it's so like quaint and like cute, and yeah, the scenery is amazing. I really like Victoria as well. Like,
yeah, on
quiet.
Vancouver Island.
It's like not like a city, but it is a city, but like it's just real chill. It's not like, Vancouver or anything. And I really like Toronto as well. I know it's like a huge city, but for me, like I love like museums and arts and culture and stuff. And yeah, when I went, I just like went to the theatre every day for like 3 days. It was great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Before we go, I'd really like to know, what advice would you give to someone who would like to do a working holiday visa to Canada?
Yeah, my advice is just, be organized. Come with not a, set in stone plan, but just like come with some idea of like, 1, yourself, and 2, the country that you're moving to.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think just like find that sweet spot between planning too much and planning too little. So yeah, I would just say be organized. And I would also say as well, when you come into Canada, make sure you check the visa expiry date on them, because they often get it wrong. And once it's printed, that's like once you leave the airport, if they've only given you a certain date, then you can't get that back. Luckily for me, they gave me an extra 3 weeks. So
okay, so it worked in your advantage.
Yeah, but I have known a lot of people who have only been given like a year, for example.
And they were allowed to.
They were allowed to, yeah, but the immigration officer just gave them a year. So yeah, be prepared and just get as much knowledge as you can and just like harness it and just plan.
Amazing. Thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your working holiday visa experience. And for those of you that are watching, it's your turn to ask your question. So I invite you to write them here in the comments and we will be able to answer a few of them. So let's go for the first question. All right. So someone is asking, does anyone know the processing time and the cost to apply for the working holiday visa to Canada? Just trying to figure out the logistics here.
Oh, okay. I think it depends a lot on when you will get picked from the pool. So I think that's the annoying bit, is just because it's just like a lottery, right? So you're just sat in there and you never really know. And I think for me, like I think I was in that pool for like over 6 months, I think. And then when I didn't go to my biometrics and got it denied, I went back into the pool and got pulled like 10 days.
Oh.
So it's like you just don't know, and it is quite difficult to like plan for the future, and you can't really have a set date because it is just luck.
Yes.
But then once you actually go through the process, it's fairly quick. And so if you like actually stick to the deadlines, then it's not too long.
If I can add a bit to what you were saying. So basically, your go-to resource is really the International Experience Canada website, where you will find out the application fee, the current processing time, and as well the date for when the season starts, because there are seasons when you can apply. At the moment, the processing time is... It may take up to 8 weeks. So this is roughly like 56 business days. And once you submit your documents and biometrics, you will have, like Drew mentioned, to check the schedule for the invitation rounds. All right. Next question. So someone is saying, I'm thinking of going to Canada on the working holiday visa, and I'm a bit worried about finding a place to crash. Is it going to be crazy expensive to get accommodation here? Any tips or tricks to make it easier? Yeah,
it's really tough because it is expensive. And I think the majority of people will just go into a hostel for the first, couple of weeks or whatever, which again is a lot more expensive than other countries, like European countries even.
Right.
It's like, probably, I don't know, double the price maybe. So you just got to get in early, come get yourself a spot, and then you just have to network. Like that's all it is, right? Just people or
people you meet at work.
100%. Or if there's someone in the hostel, like in a hostel or whatever, that is finding someone, then team together. But you just have to constantly be on the hunt, which can kind
On the
of be
list,
stressful. I think you just have to like constantly be on the go.
And is there like a website or something that people can check? Or you mentioned Craigslist for finding employment.
Yeah.
Could it be also?
Yeah, I think that, houses on there. I always get a bit sketched out there on Craigslist. I don't know.
Okay.
Like jobs fine, but I don't know, houses, I don't know, it's a bit weird.
Yeah, so really word of mouth.
Word of mouth, yeah. And again, like Facebook, like Facebook groups are like great. And that's how I found most of my houses actually.
Maybe we can share the links in the comment from some of the Facebook groups, because that could be pretty
for sure.
pretty helpful.
Yeah.
So we'll add them in the comments at the end. All right, we have time for one last question.
Do your best.
So someone is saying, hey, just curious, you know if there's like a limit or quota for the working holiday visa in Canada? Like, do they have a specific number of visa they give out each year?
Like, I feel if you're from, again, don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, I think if you're from Ireland or like New Zealand or Australia, then they let more people in, I believe.
Yeah.
Is that right?
I mean, you're doing right. I can add on to that, but I mean, you seem to know what you're saying. So basically, if you're wondering about the number of spots available and the chances of receiving an invitation in the next round, know that the quotas are established. There are quotas, and they're established at the beginning of the season, and they basically gradually open up spots throughout the year, and each country has its own annual allocation. So you're right about it. But if you keep checking the International Experience Canada website, you'll be able to stay up to date with the number of spots that are opening. And as you mentioned before as well, it is a random selection process. So if you're traveling alone, I mean, it's fine because you're a bit more flexible. If you're traveling as a couple or as a group, well, you'll have to be a bit more patient, but I'm sure Drew can agree that it is totally worth the wait.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
And just so you know, at the end of the season, all of the applications are removed from the pool and a new pool starts the following year. And you, just as an example for the number of application, you did mention that Australia, they actually do have an unlimited number of participants. Yeah. Whereas other countries like France, they have limited number of spots. But if you want to find out the quota for your country, I invite you again to check out the International Experience Canada website, and I will leave the link in the comment. So if you do decide to travel and work in Canada, it is worth the wait. On a working holiday visa, you'll find all the details on how to apply on the International Experience Canada website, whether you're from the UK like Drew or from Australia, New Zealand, France, South Korea, or any of the 30 plus countries that are eligible to do a working holiday visa in Canada. If you're backpacking in Canada, so in Ontario or Quebec, use the promo code Nomad Junkies when you book a stay at Saint-Lô Hostels. You'll get 10% off your booking, so this means more money to stretch your trip. If you're looking for the best travel insurance to go on a working holiday visa, check out Sonomad. I'll leave the links here in the comment. It is Canada's most affordable travel insurance. So, Drew, thank you so much for joining us. And of course, all of you for joining us today. We will see you next time. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel where you'll find tons of other videos about the working holiday visa. We will leave the links for the video in the description down here.